Hey, welcome to Honeymoon Vacation Part 2. We had a little bit of technical difficulties there, so sorry about that, but life's life and
So where
adapt
did
and
we leave
overcome. We were talking about Roswell, then we talked about San Antonio, and then we talked about Hot Joy.
Oh, right, Hot Joy, yeah. That was an awesome place. What was your favorite thing?
I like the drink that exploded and was on fire. And
We're not big drinkers, although we did discover at the ceremony that we both really, really enjoyed kosher wine. We're not big wine drinkers. We don't like the bitterness of it. So sweet wine is actually kind of like punch to us. And we discovered that we really enjoyed kosher wine. But we decided that on our honeymoon, we're usually pretty, we try to eat healthy. We try to eat good. But we were going to kind of let loose a little bit during our honeymoon. And we were going to kind of experience each town for what it offered. And one of the things that Hot Joy was famous for were these drinks, and this is looked like a kind of a volcano drink, and it kind of looked like everything in your kitchen sink was thrown into it, and it was sort of like just a number of wonderful like spices and flavors in it, like orange and cinnamon and even nutmeg or something. I can't be sure, but there was a lot of like very tropical flavors in it. And so they would come to the table and they lit it on fire.
We actually have a video of it, and I'll put the link once I upload it in the description below.
Yeah, so that was really awesome. And it had two drinks, and it was kind of served in this big bowl, literally this big, with all, it looked like an island. Like a drink on an island or something. It literally looked like an island. And it had two straws coming out of it. So we really enjoyed that. But my favorite was the twice fried buffalo wings in an Asian sauce. Oh my gosh, these were most definitely the best wings I have ever had, and he knows it because I've been talking about it ever since. He tries to tell me that the ones at the Lazy Dog are better, and no, my friends, there is no other wings like the ones that they serve at Hot Joy.
So go there. Get the wings at Lazy Dog, get the wings at Hot Joy, and compare, and then come back with your own video.
Please do.
And tell us which one is the best
one. Tell him he's wrong. Anyways, it was really delicious. They were crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside. Plus, they had that wonderful sweet and tangy Asian flavors. The other thing I really, really enjoyed were the Brussels sprouts. I'm not a huge Brussels sprout fan. I do like them every so often, but it's kind of like when I really want to eat healthy and I want to feel good about myself, then I eat Brussels sprouts. But these Brussels sprouts, I could have had these and the chicken wings all night long, and I would have been so, so happy. These were amazing. They were diced in smaller pieces, but they had so many wonderful flavors in them. They were roasted. It tasted like they were roasted, and they had some type of like a honey sauce over them that was drizzled. It wasn't overpowering, but it was really, really delicious.
It was good food.
Yeah.
But our whole experience on our honeymoon, we had some awesome food.
Yeah.
Like probably the best food that we haven't had in a long time. It was really good.
And he is a hard person to get to actually admit when something is good. He does not have the most sophisticated palate, may I say, just a little, because he likes Norms. Yeah, Norms and Coco's is good food for him.
The gumbo there is really good. The gumbo there at Norm's is really good. Okay, that's the only thing that's good. But if you want a paper thin steak,
nobody wants a paper thin steak. That's the whole point, babe. So anyway, he got to taste a lot of different flavors. So we're going to take it one city at a time. So going back to San Antonio, we also visited the Alamo.
No.
Remember the Alamo? Mm-hmm. You remember the Alamo, right?
Well, I remember
the whole motto
there.
is "Remember the Alamo."
Yeah.
We
I
took
remember
a
when
good
I went
tour
there.
That was kind of fun. I always loved doing historical tours of cities and learning a little bit about each one of them. So that was actually really fun. We also visited this place called Panaderia. Do you remember that one? It's the bakery.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, with the coffee that you liked with the design on the latte.
Oh, okay.
Remember that?
Yeah.
So I took him to a real panaderia, and if you're not Mexican, and then panaderia is a bakery. It usually is a bakery that bakes fresh baked bread every day, and it's usually Mexican sweet bread. If you've ever tasted that. Panaderia is a spin on that. It's kind of like a Mexican gourmet cafe, where they do have the traditional baked breads, but they also have them in distinct and different styles and presentations. So I actually had what we call is a conchita, a concha, and it's usually a bread about this size or so. But I had it in a muffin style, and the stem of the muffin was actually made out of a croissant. So it was croissant bread and then the concha on top. It was delicious. It was really, really good. He had a latte, and I think it was like a cream filled croissant with strawberries. Okay. Now you remember?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So look that up. It's right in downtown San Antonio. The other thing that I really enjoyed about that is the Riverwalk. The Riverwalk was very beautiful, especially at night. The only thing is that not as many businesses are open anymore, so you don't get to see as much of it as you probably normally would. I guess COVID really affected a lot of businesses there, sadly. But the parts the closer you get to the Alamo, the more that is open. And the last one I'll leave because I have to remind him. He usually forgets what we saw in each city until I remind him of something that sparks his memory. So I was kind of waiting for you to spark your memory about San Antonio. Do you remember we went to Snooze? Oh yeah. The breakfast place with the salmon Benedicts, and I got 3. Yeah.
They just gave her all the Benedicts they could possibly.
They're famous, I guess, for their Benedicts. And but it was really good, and they're all different. We actually, the first half of our honeymoon, I think, all we had was Benedicts in the morning. Mm-hmm. So we got to choose a lot of different ones. He kept going back to his true and tried ones, which are the salmon Benedicts.
Yeah, I tried smoked salmon, and it's a go-to. It's a go-to. It's a go-to. It tastes good most of the time. So if everything on the menu you look, and then there's salmon on the menu, it's probably the best thing on the menu.
So I actually tried a combo plate where you could try 2 different types of Benedicts, and they had a number of different ones, which I loved because I do like the traditional, but I like to get it a little experimental. And there was one that they had, and I don't remember the name of it, but it was made out of several layers of tortilla that they just piled on top of each other and formed it into like a circle. They put chicken on top of it, some green salsa. It was kind of like an enchilada type of Benedict. And then the egg on top with the cilantro. Oh my gosh, that was so delicious. That was actually I didn't order that one. They brought it to me by mistake, and it was my favorite one. So he's just upset because I had 3 Benedicts and he had 2. So yeah. I got to try 3 different Benedicts. I think the other ones I can't. They were all delicious, but that's the one that stood out. There was another one that was I think it was like shredded beef with it was some type of barbecue one, which was delicious. It was really good. But that enchilada chicken one, I'm not even sure if that's what it's called, but it was the best Benedict I've had. So definitely, if you're going there, try that one. Don't feel too sorry for him because he also had the French toast.
Yeah.
Right? Remember that?
French toast.
And my daughter's coming in to show me something. You tell them about your French toast.
Pretty good. It's filled with all kinds of fruit and vegetables and cream on top and everything. It was pretty amazing. So we had some really good food, really good breakfasts. and we had an awesome time.
My daughter was giving me a fashion show right now. So
yeah.
Anyway.
Well, you missed the show, so you're looking at me.
So San Antonio was wonderful. We really enjoyed it, although it was a very traditional big city. So I kind of feel like I did like it. I enjoyed our time there, especially Hot Joy. If I went back, it would honestly be for Hot Joy. That's how much I liked it. But it was nice. Loved it. But it wasn't one of those, oh my God, I have to go back there, unless it was for Hot Joy. But anyways, I did enjoy it. Not necessarily going back anytime soon, but
yeah, but that's good. The beauty of a road trip.
Yeah.
Is like basically we want to know like
get to know the country.
Basically like during COVID, you kind of like what what's happening in your area, but you don't know what's happening in other places. And so we just wanted a chance to kind of do a road trip, do like a victory lap after we got married, and basically see what the country actually is like. Going from city to city, traveling the country, you realize it's mostly farmland, which was a surprise. Yeah. It's mostly farmland, a lot of mountain regions, big cities too, but
a lot of hills. And speaking of COVID, I mean, we were traveling during COVID. We were nervous about what the state regulations were from state to state and whether or not we would be able to travel through, because we didn't know if there were restrictions or not. But we actually started off in some conservative states, and we went through Texas. We knew was not going to have a mask mandate, but I was actually quite surprised that most businesses required you to wear a mask anyway. So it wasn't much different than where we're from, which is California, where we have to wear a mask. The only difference is the governor makes you do it. In states like Texas, it's mandated by each business. I mean, the business decides whether they require it or not. Most of them did.
So rule of thumb, just have a mask in your pocket. If you see people wearing masks, then wear a mask.
I took a box of masks that I could just use throughout our trip, so that's good.
So mask, no mask, probably doesn't do anything, but
it was fun. We had a good time.
Yeah, we had an awesome time, and it was pretty interesting. We got to meet different people, and had some really good food. It was awesome, and
oh wait, we didn't talk about we did talk about, I feel like we talked about this in the last video. Did we do one for San Antonio already that I forgot?
I don't know,
because we didn't talk about the kids that almost ran us over, but I feel like we already did.
Yeah, well, we're basically talking about the birds.
Yeah.
We got on the birds, and as soon as we got on birds, a flock of kid birds went around us and were trying to knock us off like we were stuffed animals or something.
I don't know if they were purposely doing that, but
it was kind of one of those picturesque moments that you're on one of those birds, and
where you see the middle-aged people, like you're giving them thumbs up. I even had some older people, like in their 60s or so, giving us thumbs up, going, "Good job, you guys, you're doing great," and we're all feeling really confident on our birds and everything, and feeling kind of young and free, until a flock of kids surround you and almost knock you off and make you realize what your age actually is.
Yeah, so. it was an interesting moment. As soon as we got on, kids swarmed around us,
but we survived. We made it.
It was interesting. Yeah, we survived, made it. And we have reviews on our page, Facebook page,
for the different restaurants we were
for the
at.
Different restaurants, good or bad. These are real reviews.
Yeah.
So if you're taking a vacation trip and want to travel the world,
we'll recommend places.
We have places that we have gone to, tried and true, and they're good and bad reviews. So, but the cool thing about going on a road trip is that basically you find out what you like in each city, and then you're able to say, okay, I'm going here, or I'm going there.
Now, because the next time we travel, we're going to travel with purpose. We're going to know which ones we want to get to know even better. So next time, we review a city. We're going to be doing New Orleans.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So until next time.
All right. Have a good day.
God bless.
Good night.